name is Bradina Kendi Kiremi. I go to school in Thika Primary School for the visually impaired. I am 11 years old. I am in grade 5. There's some subjects that we don't have any books like home science, and others like CRE. Having a styler, there are few. Stylers are few. And sometimes we even wait for a person to finish his or her work so that she or he can help you with his or her styler. There's some things that I need to revise, but they are in print and I cannot read in print. Just bring us stylers, and the stylers be cheap, and fresh papers and abacuses and braillers.
Hundreds of thousands of girls like Kendi are in school but are not accessing quality learning simply because they cannot access textbooks in formats that are accessible. The current dispensation has very limited options for children with visual impairments. Majority who are girls with visual impairments are in school. Now, the government has tried in its place to sign the Marrakesh Treaty for Visually Impaired Persons in 2013. In 2017, the treaty was ratified, and in 2019, the treaty was domesticated and incorporated within the Kenya Copyright Act. Now, what needs to be done for learners in schools who are visually impaired to have access to books is simply to enforce the implementation of the Marrakesh Treaty in Kenya. We need to work with publishers and other well-wishers to ensure that they are sensitized to the fact that the Marrakesh Treaty opens up their books for visually impaired learners in the community. We are having a book famine in this country as far as learners and trainees with visual impairments are concerned. We need to ensure that the relevant laws are implemented so that this can be brought under control.
My name is Faith Wayuan Zioka. I teach in Thika School for the Visually Impaired at the ECDE section. In the ECDE section, we have an average of around 51 pupils for now. The others who are graduating to grade 1. In the new curriculum, we have a few challenges. We have some challenges, like in the curriculum design. We are just using the one which was developed in around 2016, 2017, and now it is out of date. We need some review so that we can go with the new ways, because in some topics like swimming, and in some schools we don't have swimming pools, we have to have an alternative game for the children to do. Also in the ECD section, we have a challenge of materials. Those are resources, and the resources for the visually impaired, they are very expensive. The ECD is developed in the devolved government, and the county does not even cater for the children. We request the county governments to see into account that they cater for the ECD departments, especially for the learners with visual impairment. Also, another challenge is about the 100% transition. In the ECD, we are seeing it's a challenge because we have children who have some multiple disabilities, others are slow learners, and when they come in the first year, you have first to teach them the orientation. They know how to stay in the class, how to sit, so it takes time. You cannot compare a visually impaired child with the so-called the sighted learners. They need time to adjust to the new environment so that they can move to the next class. So we are seeing the issue of 100% transition as a challenge to most of us who are teaching in the ECDE session. We also request the county governments to give teacher aids to support the teachers who are doing the work with the children, so that sometimes the number is high, but when we have a caregiver or a teacher aid, we can work together with them to support the children in learning. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show today. My name is Jackson Agufana. I work for the Kenya Union of the Blind as Executive Officer. Today, I'm pleased to visit my friend who lives and works in Kiambu County in Kenya, and he will introduce himself shortly and tell us more about himself and what he does to make a difference in the community. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. My names are Ezekiel John Musau, a teacher at Thika Primary School for the visually impaired. Thika Primary School for the blind is the oldest primary school in Kenya. It admits learners from Kenya and Eastern Africa. Here I'm a teacher. I teach several subjects: mathematics, social studies, integrated science, and CRI. As a teacher, we've been having two different curriculum. That is the old system 844 and the CBC. The CBC, that is the competent-based curriculum, is the new system which has been introduced in Kenya as the system of education. For learners with a visual impairment, we feel that CBC is the best because it is really works on skill-based and the abilities of each learner. Learners with a visual impairment have various challenges, and they are when trained, they do very well in different activities, such as in co-curriculum activities, music, they are very good, creative art, they are very good, games and sports, they are very good, and they are also very good in classwork, that is the academic. So the CBC cuts across to all learners. Those ones who are able differently, they have got a portion in life. Thank you.
Okay, Mwalimu, thank you very much for giving us that information. I think it's very elaborate and it's very clear. Before we delve into what experiences or challenges learners with visual impairments face as far as access to CBC learning material is concerned, could you briefly tell us what are some of the challenges that you as a visually impaired instructor faces while teaching CBC in the classroom?
Thank you. There are various challenges. The first challenge, which I always have with my other colleague teachers, is the teaching and learning resources. Education for learners with visual impairment is very, very expensive. Come to the writing materials. Abrela, which is our tool for writing, goes for, currently it's around 127,000. A slate and a styler, the cheapest is around 3,000, and then there are braille papers, tractor papers, and so many other materials. So you find that we have that challenge, and especially with the mathematics. The abacuses we use for numeracy, they are quite expensive. One abacus, Kenyan shillings, is 3,700, and it's a challenge to many schools. Also, what we get from the government, the grants we get from the government is not enough to support these learners. And again, these learners come from very poor background whereby the parents are unable to afford these things. So as a teacher, we face a lot of challenges. Textbooks is another issue. You'll find that when the printers are printing books for the, in quotes, the sighted children, they come very fast and they're given the textbooks. But for the Braille runners, the Braille books, they take years. In fact, like today, currently, the grade 8 has never touched a textbook right away from grade 4. It's a big challenge.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mwalimu, for highlighting those challenges. I mean, what I'm learning is that you say a typical biro pen that costs 20 shillings, if you translate that into a Braille machine, it will cost 127 shillings.
Yes.
That means that learners who are non-visually impaired have an advantage while accessing learning resources compared to learners with visual challenges.
Correct. Thank you. That's very correct. Because you'll find that what the government gives to other institutions, primary schools, if it is 10 shillings for a pencil, we also receive 10 shillings for a styler, which goes for 250 shillings.
Okay. Capitation grants need to be augmented. I mean, I mean, there are a lot of challenges, and I think you have raised these ones, and I think the community should take note of those very, very weighty issues that you've raised. What about mobility in terms of access to learning devices?
Learning devices, the first thing is the white cane, which you use for mobility, moving around. No, white cane is a very, very expensive gadget. But first, let me thank the partners and the networking and the Indian community and Safaricom for really supporting visual impaired persons in Kenya in provision of the white canes and other learning materials. We thank them and we urge them to continue supporting people with visual impairment. When we come to low vision, the magnifiers, whatever they are, the glasses, they are quite expensive. So we are also asking for the donors at least to support and provide these materials to schools whereby learners who are low vision can access the materials and they can learn just like another child. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mwalimu, and we wish you the best in your work. Viewers, that is all we have to present today to you, and hope you have had an insightful interview. Thank you.